So this is going to be another movie review. This one's called The Mind Snatchers, 1972. This is going to be another Adrian recommendation. Giving it 3 out of 5 stars. I thought it was all right. It's rated PG, unfortunately, which is why I like Brazil better. But it's got some cool themes like individuality, what it means to be a human being, mind control. We like mind control stuff on this channel, especially Dark Shadows Leviathan series. The Happiness Cage is a 1972 U.S. science fiction film directed by Bernard Gerard. The film stars Christopher Walken in his first starring role and Jas Ackland. Don't know who he is. The film was also known as The Mind Snatchers and The Demon Within. I just said Mind Snatchers. Sorry, I couldn't show it to you, but I just plopped it in the mailbox without thinking I've got to do my movie review first. So kind of putting the cart before the horse there. There's Universal Soldier, Karate Man recommendation. There wasn't much on the disc. It was just a great disc that said The Mind Snatchers. So you're not missing out on much. I'm eating the 2-time spicy ramen here, which is why my eyes are watering and my nose is running. Crazy people from upstairs are still here trying to harangue me and about nothing important. There's Universal Soldier. With Jean-Claude Van Damme returning in a series, which is, I think he's only done that twice. Maybe Karate Man could correct me there. I'm only aware of Universal Soldier and the Kickboxer. The Kickboxer series. Those are the only series that I'm aware of that he actually returned in. There might be some others. I don't know. Talk to Karate Man. He's the expert on this kind of stuff. After an altercation at a party given by his girlfriend, U.S. Army Private James Reese is arrested for assault. Excuse me. Assaulted for assault. More like it. There's a lack of continuity there because one minute he's at a party threatening to beat up this girl, and the next minute he's in a military hospital with all these monkeys and mad scientists and stuff. And then Ralph Meeker plays the military dude who's conducting the experiments. He's kind of like a Michael A. What was that guy's name? Michael Aquino. Michael A. Aquino. The Eddie Munster lookalike. After Reese comes to attention of Major, the head of Army program, played by Ralph Meeker, attempting to help those with terminal illnesses deal with their pain via a brain implant. Reese is determined to suffer from schizophrenia, making him an excellent candidate for the experimental program. Dr. Frederick is trying to find a way to ease the aggressive nature of soldiers by developing a microchip to assess the pleasure centers of their brains. With Michael Aquino, it was microwaves technology. And this one, it's inserting a wire into your brain, which is kind of far-fetched if you ask me. Anyways, distributed by Cinerama Releasing Corporation, release date 1972, running time 94 minutes. Nice running time. I've been watching it while eating dinner. I forgot to just say grace before and after dinner. Well, I could still do it after, right? I don't know. Anyways, I'll talk about the crazy stuff going on with my son's church in a minute. But it's just going to blow your mind. Reese is transferred to the Veterans Hospital in Frankfurt, where the experiments are being conducted by the United States Army. However, the experiment has taken a darker turn. The Army doctors are drilling into the patient's skulls. They attach wires and they alter their brains to create better soldiers and happier men. Human robots. The patients are 3 veterans waiting to go into the operation clinic. The implant is placed into Reese. Another soldier with the implant goes berserk, and Reese rips the wires connections away from the soldier. The soldier dies. Reese escapes the hospital but is recaptured. Off camera, of course. Another lack of continuity. He refuses to activate the implant, but the major overrides his decision and he activates it. Reese, now docile and controlled by the major. Oh, well, I don't want to spoil the ending. Anyways, the film contains some brilliant performances, according to the review in the New York Times. They also state that the story works better as a play than a movie, though Walken's performance was found to be gripping. The Encyclopedia of Science Fiction finds the movie limited by its low budget and its origins as a stage play. Yeah, I found that disconcerting too. They hired like 5 or 6 actors. That's it. But note it explores some of the same themes as the latter A Clockwork Orange. As the later A Clockwork Orange. I thought A Clockwork Orange came out the year before. I would recommend A Clockwork Orange or Brazil over this. That's just my personal preference. I wasn't too crazy about it. It wasn't very intense or gripping. But I did like the themes. I thought it could have been better. TV Guide found the movie had some interesting parts, but the movie was ultimately unsuccessful. It praised the work of Walken, but it found the direction needs a more imaginative approach. The dialogue was artificial. I was having trouble with the dialogue too. The film is based on Dennis J. Reardon's acclaimed play, The Happiness Cage, which opened at Joseph Papp Public Theater's Newman Theater in New York on October 4th, 1970. A couple months before I was born, 3 months to be precise. And let's see what IMDb says. Wikipedia calls it The Happiness Cage. IMDb calls it The Mind Snatchers. The DVD calls it The Mind Snatchers. The movie poster calls it The Mind Snatchers. Looks like a pretty cool movie poster. It's rated PG, unfortunately. I wanted to dislike this for so many reasons, but like I said, I really like the themes. Gets a 5.5 out of 10 on IMDb, which is very close to my rating. I'm rating it a little bit higher, actually, 6 out of 10. 635 ratings, an hour and 34 minutes. German scientist works on a way of quelling overly aggressive soldiers by developing implants that directly stimulate the pleasure centers of the brain. More like this, more movies like this. The Laurel's Grasp, Dark Places, The Fourth Victim, and Schoolgirls in Chains. Now, these movies look more interesting to me, especially Schoolgirls in Chains. A German scientist works on a way of quelling overly aggressive soldiers by developing implants that directly stimulate the pleasure centers of the brain. The film in the English language has a number of titles. These include The Mind Snatchers, The Happiness Cage, Mind Snatcher, Brain Control, Mind Snatcher, 2 words. The first mention of Mind Snatcher was 1 word. The Demon Within, Mind Snatchers, and The Mind Snatcher. Quotes the Major, frankly, who would miss him? Dr. Frederick, who would miss him? Who indeed? God help lonely people. After the end credits have rolled over a freeze frame of Private Reese, a news magazine cover picturing a monkey titled Probing the Brain is displayed along with the text. In 1954, 2 Canadian scientists discovered that the brain contained areas of pleasure and of pain. Since then, in research institutes, hospitals, and sanitariums all over the world, electrical wires have been placed into the brains of guinea pigs, rabbits, monkeys, and monkeys, and humans. Connections. This is featured in Trailer Trauma 2 Drive-In Monsterama from 2016. Fetch My Brain Drill. I also like Seconds better than this, actually. Those are my 3 favorite movies. Clockwork Orange, A Clockwork Orange, Seconds, and Brazil. This is kind of a low-budget version of all 3, I think. But it doesn't have the black humor of Brazil. It's just got really boring dialogue in it. Nonsensical stuff. The only part that I liked was when Christopher Walken said that he was an individual. He's not part of the collective. He's an individual. All right. Fetch My Brain Drill. That's the title of the feature review on IMDb by Azathoth Huygens, dated January 30th, 2022. More recent review. The Mind Snatchers is about mind control, a government conspiracy, and an experiment gone wrong. In spite of these intriguing elements, the movie is painfully slow. I agree with that. This makes it feel days long instead of its actual 90-minute running time. Well, I watched it over the course of eating 3 dinners, so it wasn't that bad. Watching it, it's clear that this would have made an excellent short film or anthology film segment. As it stands, it has a brain-scorchingly padded midsection sandwiched between a decent beginning and a perfectly downbeat finale. On the upside, Christopher Walken plays his character Reese with his soon-to-be signature unforced quirkiness. In retrospect, it seems obvious that his future would include roles in The Deer Hunter and The Dead Zone. Unfortunately, he's the only bright spot in this movie. That is, unless you count a young Ronny Cox as Reese's unhinged hillbilly roommate. Ronny Cox was in Deliverance. That's the only thing I remember him from. But anyways, not a great dystopian flick. I am a fan of the dystopian genre, though. It's my favorite genre. Although I've been doing a lot of Karate Man reviews lately. I did one Adrian review just now. And let's see what's coming up down the pike. Coming down the pike. Excuse me. So my son's on vacation with his mother, and somehow I convinced her to drop him off at Latin Mass in Belmont. And the thing is, during the lockdown, these people who have a much more a stricter and more precise interpretation of the Bible. These people, we went there during the lockdown in defiance of the governor here and his insane health decree. We just went there, and I even invited somebody from the Catholic Church to go over there. I think that's the reason why she's not responding to my emails now. But in any case, I think these are the same people who went to Calvary Church, or the same people who are doing this Latin Mass in Belmont. And my son is just walking in there completely blind. He doesn't know what's going on. The pastor of our church here in San Francisco told me that that the Vatican actually told Archbishop Cardellone to stop doing the Latin confirmations at our church, at my son's church, I should say. So he's the one who wanted to keep going there during the past year, off and on. After he fainted. Anyways, so I talked to the priest on the phone, the pastor, Father Joseph Elo, and he mentioned Bishop Strickland, which is kind of cool, actually. I like 80% of what he says, but the 20% is really troubling. Anyways, I didn't try to argue with him over that. I told my son that I didn't try to argue with him. So I got the Baltimore Catechism, the 1891 version, and I sent it to my son on Google Chat. I don't even know if he's had a chance to look at it, but knowing him, he'll probably ace it in a month, and he'll start taking theology college courses next year. But I'm going to the Latin Mass in San Francisco by myself, and he's going to the Latin Mass in Belmont by himself. And if my hunch is correct, and these people from Calvary Church are going to be at Latin Mass, they're going to recognize him, and he's just going in there completely blind, like he doesn't know what to expect. So it's pretty crazy. Anyways, next up on my Netflix queue is Punisher, 1989, Dolph Lundgren. Then I've got The Russian Specialist, 2005, Dolph Lundgren. That's an Adrian recommendation. Then there's Devil Girl from Mars, 1954. That's what's coming down the pike next week. So I hope you enjoyed my review. Try to make it as thorough as possible. And I got a good head start on my grocery shopping tonight, just because I've been getting such good sleep without having to spend time with my son there in San Mateo. So I should be able to get at least 3 reviews in, maybe 4, if I'm lucky. I gotta go get a table to set up my little Catholic shrine here in the middle So instead of movie posters like what like what Mr. Professor Quiz was recommending, the spine bender dude. Professor Quiz was recommending that I put up movie poster. I'm just going to put a table right here with all the Catholic stuff on it, facing the east, like my son said. I got to go buy a table at Home Depot. Maybe get some socks. My socks are getting holes in them from walking to my car from work. No more garage parking at the that stupid valet attendant job. Oh man, that was terrible. But yeah, hopefully I didn't insert too much religion just now. Adrian's probably tuning out when I start talking about Catholic stuff. But the priest says that the archbishop is doing some kind of political dance, whatever that means. My son says that he's a traditional Catholic. So my son's got a handy label for this guy. And it's going to be interesting when I ask my son on Tuesday how the Latin Mass went. I wonder if my hunch is correct or I'm just making up stuff. I'm just imagining things. That'd be cool, though, if we end up going back to the to Catholic Church in Belmont. It's a bunch of fringe element people from Calvary Church during the lockdown days. We'll have a little religious reunion there, as it were. Somebody's going to recognize them there. I just have a sticky feeling. So cool. Anyways, I'm hoping that my son will marry a Catholic girl at church or something, but I don't think he's ever been introduced to them. I think they're a little bit older than he is. Just a little bit. Anyways, cool. God, I wish I was young. I wish I could turn back the clock. But it's never too late to get a young girlfriend, right? Especially if you go to Thailand, like Adrian was telling me. Speaking of which, I found a black gal on Tinder. She's like 18 or something, and naturally her parents won't give her money. She's from Hayward, across the bay. Naturally her parents won't give her money, so she wants me to pay her $75 for a massage, and then I can do anything I want to her afterwards. I said, no thanks. I'm just interested in going on a coffee date. Then I blocked her and reported her. All right, that's the end of my review. Laters.